Straight ahead on the Daily O, Cowboy football continues to prepare themselves for their upcoming opponent in Kansas State Wildcats. Find out what head coach Mike Gundy had to say in Monday's media availability. Two Cowboy players were in the spotlight for their play last Saturday. We'll tell you who. Also, Cowboy Wrestling snagged themselves one of the top recruits in the nation. Find out all this and more. The Daily O starts now. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Daily O. I'm Emma Lightfoot. Thanks for joining us. Cowboy football is back on the gridiron, preparing themselves for their upcoming matchup against the number 22 ranked K-State Wildcats. Head coach Mike Gundy spoke with the media Monday about his game plan going into the game and so much more. Take a listen.
We were better. We were 4.3 on running back runs. So we were actually better in this game than we've been all year. Predicted inaccurately how we could effectively stop the counter. We figured out it wasn't working like everybody else, and we changed the technique and the way we were defending it for the second half. I called up there today, and they said he's going to play. The big joke around the office is I've done this for so long, I can generally predict injuries pretty well. Our guys and the other teams, and from what I saw, it looked like to me that he'll play. I would say 6 exceeded my expectations of the way he would play in that particular situation. The moment didn't get too big for him. We got him another shoe and taught him actually how to tie it. But you guys asked me last week, and I told you that he would play a little more, and he brings a little different dimension. You know, we're not that physically tough now, but we're a different style of offense. But we're not. It's not like we're soft, but we have to get that edge back in this offense in order for us to continue to be that way. You know, he made his mistakes in this game, but you can see where we need to keep patting him and telling him to keep going. Attaboy, get back in there, because he's going to do things that are going to wow us before it's all said and done. If Cobb makes a lot of plays, he has the ability to make unorthodox plays, which is good. You can't coach those things. He still does some things that he won't do next year at this time. He's young, but he's a good football player. He's tough. He's been a good leader for us. He doesn't run his mouth. He just plays. They're good players. They're tough and gritty. You know, they're a 3-down team basically. Their inside guys are going to be flat back, try to push you back. They have good edge guys that are pretty active on the outside, and I think they're well coached. I studied him quite a bit yesterday. When he's focused and playing within himself, because he's very athletic and he's active and he's strong, he can be difficult to block because of the nature that he brings. And he had a good game. I mean, because he's unorthodox in what he does, it kind of messes with you a little bit, I would think. And Trace is a very emotional player. You know, he gets, like, if they hold him a couple of times and they don't call it, you know, he's going to tell the referee. You know, he's telling him, and the ball's being snapped over here. You know, and where Trace, they need a 5 technique. You know, and he's trying to explain to him the guy was hooking him. I said he did hook you, but they didn't call it. They've made as big a transition in college football as anybody, in my opinion, from where it was back in probably up, through the mid-'90s. It was still that way because Coach Snyder came in '89. It's been great for our conference, let's put it that way.
The Cowboys continue to prepare themselves as they look to spoil the Wildcats' homecoming game. Kickoff is set this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. 2 hours before kickoff, make Ocali TV your home for Where to Go with the pregame show. Dylan Walker, myself, and the entire Ocali TV crew will keep you up to date on everything you need to know right before kickoff. One of the biggest stars from Saturday's win is now a semifinalist for a major award. Cowboys safety Jason Taylor II was named a semifinalist for the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award. Taylor is one of 2 Big 12 players who made the semifinalist list. The award is given annually to the best defensive back in college football and is based on performance on the field, athletic ability, and character. Taylor has made a name for himself as a big play waiting to happen and is having a career season for the Pokes. The Paycom Jim Thorpe Award Selection Committee will reconvene on the Sunday following Thanksgiving to select 3 award finalists. The award finalists will be announced as part of a special presentation by ESPN on November 29th. Let's take a quick break, but when we come back, one of the greatest coaches in NCAA history just turned a year older. Find out who in our famous birthdays. Also, Cowboy Wrestling just added another key recruit to their already talented squad. We'll tell you who it is and more when the Daily O returns.
Ace in the Bowl Salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl Salsa is an olive oil-based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten-free, low calorie, low carb, low fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
My name's Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in Southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out, but the truth was that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
Welcome back into the Daily O. It's time to dive right into your national headlines. Yesterday, the Jets announced the loss of star rookie running back Breece Hall. In less than 12 hours, the Jets have already found their replacement. Last night, the Jacksonville Jaguars agreed to trade running back James Robinson to the Jets for a 6th-round pick that could become a 5th-round pick if Robinson meets certain incentives. This season, Robinson has 81 carries for 340 yards and 3 touchdowns, while hauling in 9 receptions for 46 yards and 1 touchdown in split carries. Robinson will go to a Jets squad that is looking quite promising this season, as this is the first time since 2010 that the Jets have started off their season at 5-2. Robinson will look to continue to improve his stock value as he will become a restricted free agent following the end of the season. A new update in the Brittany Griner situation, and it's not looking so well. Earlier today, a Russian judge decided that Griner will continue her time in a Russian prison for 9 years, turning down Griner's appeal for a lighter sentence. If you remember, the WNBA star was convicted of smuggling drugs into the country. Before the decision, one of Griner's lawyers said that if the sentence was upheld, quote, the legal process will be basically over. But U.S. officials say they're continuing their push to get her out of Russia, with a potential prisoner swap. The U.S. State Department says Griner is being wrongfully detained, and there's concern she's being used as a political pawn as Russia wages war against Ukraine. Griner was arrested just days before the war began at a Moscow airport in February and accused of having cannabis oil in her luggage. This one's a tough blow for the Chargers fans. The Chargers announced they will be without defensive back J.C. Jackson for the remainder of the 2022 NFL season due to a ruptured patellar tendon. Jackson was carted off the field in the second quarter Sunday after a play in which Seattle's Marquise Goodwin caught a 23-yard touchdown pass with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the first half. Jackson had coverage but suddenly fell near the goal line and grabbed at his right knee. An air cast was placed on the leg before Jackson was taken off the field. The former Pro Bowler had signed with the Chargers this offseason to a 5-year, $82 million contract. Back here in Stillwater, 2 Cowboys received honors from the Big 12. Oklahoma State quarterback Spencer Sanders and safety Jason Taylor II earned honors from the Big 12 on Monday for their performances in OSU's 41-34 win over 20th ranked Texas on Saturday. Sanders was named Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, while Taylor was named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. Sanders racked up 434 total yards in the Pokes' comeback victory, along with 2 touchdowns. The senior play caller completed 34 of 57 pass attempts, which is a career high in both completions and attempts for Sanders. His 391 passing yards marked his 7th 300-yard passing game of his career that moved him into a tie for 3rd in school history with Taylor Cornelius for 300 passing yards. Sanders now leads the Big 12 in total offensive yards and ranks among the top 25 in the FBS in total offense, points responsible for, and passing yards per game. Taylor earned the defensive honor after leading the Cowboys with 9 total tackles, all being solo stops, and had a career-high 2 interceptions. Taylor is the first Cowboy since Colby Harvell-Peel to record multiple interceptions in a game. Taylor's first interception came on Texas's opening drive, which led to an OSU field goal. His second came on a toe-tapping play late in the fourth quarter to put the game away. Taylor now leads the Big 12 and ranks among the top 20 FBS players in solo tackles, passes defended, and interceptions. The recognitions mark OSU's 8th and 9th Conference Player of the Week honors for the Cowboys so far. Sanders and Taylor each have had 2 weekly honors under the belt for the season. Taylor now has 3 career weekly honors and Sanders has 4. Time for another quick break on the Daily O, but when we return, a competitive Monday Night Football matchup took place last night, and Cowboy Wrestling secured a talented recruit to bolster their lineup. Stick around to find out who, and the Daily O will be right back.
Tucked away in the city of Ripley, Oklahoma, the award-winning Washington Irving Trail Museum showcases the heritage and history of Payne County. This museum holds antiques, treasures, and artifacts that one cannot find at any other museum. With hundreds of historical antiques that display OSU history, along with Native American history, the museum has it all. The museum is well known for their book containing pictures and news articles about Frank Eaton, the original Pistol Pete. Dale Kluber opened Washington Irving Trail Museum in 1994 with his collection of historical mementos. This museum is filled from wall to wall with Oklahoman history. The Washington Irving Trail Museum is 15 minutes outside of Stillwater. Experience history at one of Oklahoma's hidden gems.
A Golf Digest 5-star course, best new public course won and opened in 1994, and a top 100 public golf course in America since 2003. This course, just 5 miles outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma on Highway 51, is named after one of the influential golf pioneers this game has known.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek's a modern golf course.
The beauty of the course is in large part to the elements of the grounds. The Georgia fairway is transformed from its original forested landscape. Georgia was used to combat the tough winters so golfers could play year-round. The greens are large and sloping bent grass hills. The low-cut bent grass can be similar to glass during peak championship conditions. The bunkers surrounding most holes remind golfers of a white beach rather than a deep hazard. Lake Louise, surrounded by the second 9, completes the perfect finishing hole. The long par 72 course perfectly combines nature with the difficulty of a championship course. Karsten's added challenge is the Oklahoma wind.
So there aren't any other schools in the country that have that same commitment to college golf as we do here at Oklahoma State.
But if you're going to play at the highest level, you've got to be able to focus on where you want to go, and Karsten Creek does a good job of training you to do that, because if you don't, you're going to have a long day. And that's a great legacy that Coach Holder left, because that's the way he coached.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Week 7 in the NFL wrapped up last night in a highly fought match in Foxborough. The Chicago Bears traveled to Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts and took care of business, spoiling the return of Patriots quarterback Mac Jones. Jones wouldn't finish the entirety of the game, as Pats coach Bill Belichick says that was the plan going into the matchup. Bears defense made life difficult, forcing 3 interceptions, 2 against Bailey Zapp and 1 against Mac Jones. The Bears' rushing game helped seal the deal for the team's 3rd win of the season, combining for nearly 200 yards from the ground in a 33-14 final score. Moving back over to Stillwater, Cowboy football isn't the only program who walked away with a major win this week. Cowgirl Golf held on to the 7-stroke lead at the Jim West Challenge to win their first tournament of the young season. OSU managed to combine for 52 birdies and 4 eagles, the most among the field. The Cowgirls finished at 9 under par, 2 shots ahead of runner-up SMU. Oklahoma State has now come home with a victory at the Jim West Challenge in back-to-back years. The victory also marked OSU's 104th tournament title in program history, and the 10th under head coach Greg Robertson. OSU was led by Han Swan Yu, who finished in 7th place at 4 under. The result was Yu's 6th top 10 finish in her last 11 tournaments played. Cowboy Wrestling just added a major commit in their 2024 class. On Monday, junior Barrick Jordan announced via social media his commitment to the Cowboys. The number 17 ranked 2024 recruit in the nation was a 2-time Ohio State champion while also being crowned an Ironman champion, placing 3rd in the nation in the 113-pound weight class. For those looking to see more of Barrick and his skills, you won't have to go far. Barrick is now seeking after his 3rd state title, this time in Oklahoma at Stillwater High School. It's time for one last break on the Daily O, but when we return, we'll go back in time and see what happened on this day in sports history. Also, we'll take a look one last time into your national headlines. The Daily O will be right back.
Our state is one of the most beautiful and unique states in the USA. With diverse geographies, the historic Route 66, unforgettable restaurants, and some of the greatest people on the planet. With so much to see and so much to do, living in Oklahoma means one of the best vacation spots is right in our own backyard. Doesn't this story need to be told? As filmmakers and photographers based right here in Oklahoma, we thought so. And hey, who doesn't like a good road trip? So, we packed up our cameras, teamed up with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, and that's how this series was born. We want to show you why traveling within the great state of Oklahoma is a great idea. So come join us for thousands of miles over the next year, from Broken Bow to Black Mesa. This is the Oklahoma Road Trip.
We use the very best of the best ingredients. Demerara sugar is the best that is. Very high quality fruits, berries. The milk we use is the best milk there is. That's why it makes our product stand by itself. I like to make yogurt because I like to eat yogurt. We've been doing this for ourselves for many years because it's a tradition in our family. And we want to have a product which would be very similar to French yogurt, but with our touch of uniqueness, linking our name, our product, with the reputation of the Made in Oklahoma Coalition was probably the best thing we have done as far as promoting our product.
that you can get ribs anywhere, you can get a steak anywhere, but you can't always get a Mountain View hot link like ours. So we really decided to focus on that niche and realized we had something really special. So that's when we started focusing more on the hot links, but it's still the same family recipe they were making all those years ago. For us, many of our people that work here have been with us for years and decades. So whereas machines kind of break down over time, the people just get better. And it shows in the products we produce. When you buy a Mountain View product, not only is it going to taste dynamite, but you're also feeding Oklahomans. You're helping employ Oklahomans, and you're helping to fund the state's economy. So what's better than that?
Welcome back to the Daily O. Time to take a look into the past to find out what happened on this day in sports history. To start off, let's take a look at just 2 years ago when Tom Brady overtook Drew Brees for the most career passing touchdowns with his 559th touchdown pass. Brady and Brees were locked into a weekly battle for who held the title for most career TDs, ultimately with Brady coming out on top with Brees' retirement at the end of the 2020 season. Brady went on playing and currently has 632 passing touchdowns and counting, compared to Brees' 571, a difference of 61 touchdowns. Moving on to 6 years ago when the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians faced off in the first game of the 2016 World Series. The Indians defeated the Cubs in a 6-0 shutout to start off one of the best World Series ever. The Indians were led by pitcher Corey Kluber, who struck out 8 hitters in the first 3 innings, a World Series record, and catcher Roberto Perez, who hit 2 home runs. However, the Cubs went on to win the series in 7 games, the franchise's first World Series title since 1908. Sticking to the diamond, the New York Yankees defeated the Los Angeles Angels in 6 games to move on to the World Series in 2009, where they met up with the Philadelphia Phillies. It was the Yankees' first World Series appearance since 2003. Well, it's now time to get on those party hats as we wish some notable athletes a happy birthday. Happy 51st birthday to one of the greatest pitchers to touch the mound in Pedro Martinez. Martinez held quite the resume throughout his time in the majors, amassing 8 All-Star appearances, 3 Cy Young Awards, as well as a Triple Crown Award throughout his notable tenures with the Montreal Expos and Boston Red Sox. Martinez would retire in 2009 with the Philadelphia Phillies before being named into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2015. A happy 82nd birthday to one of the most successful basketball coaches in Bob Knight. Knight, who is best known for his coaching tenure with the Indiana Hoosiers, dominated the nation throughout his 43-year career, only finishing with a sub-500 record just twice. Knight stepped away from the hardwood in 2008 after coaching for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Finally, a happy 24th birthday to one of the brightest stars in the MLB right now, with Juan Soto. Soto, who's continued to dominate the league since making his debut at just 19 years old for the Washington Nationals, helped lead the team to a World Series ring in 2019, the first time since the team moved to the nation's capital. Now it's time to dive right into your national headlines. Yesterday, the Jets announced the loss of star rookie running back Breece Hall. In less than 12 hours, the Jets have found their replacement. Last night, the Jacksonville Jaguars agreed to trade running back James Robinson to the Jets for a 6th-round pick that could become a 5th-round pick if Robinson meets certain incentives. This season, Robinson has 81 carries for 340 yards and 3 touchdowns, while hauling in 9 receptions for 46 yards and 1 touchdown in split carries. Robinson will look to continue to improve his stock value as he will become a restricted free agent following the end of the season. A new update in the Brittany Griner situation, and it's not looking so well. Earlier today, a Russian judge decided that Griner will continue her time in a Russian prison for 9 years, turning down Griner's appeal for a lighter sentence. If you remember, the WNBA star was convicted of smuggling drugs into the country. Before the decision, one of Griner's lawyers said that if the sentence was upheld, quote, the legal process will basically be over. But U.S. officials say they're continuing their push to get her out of Russia, with a potential prisoner swap. Griner was arrested just days before the war began at a Moscow airport in February and accused of having cannabis oil in her luggage. This one's a tough blow for the Chargers fans. The Chargers announced they will be without defensive back J.C. Jackson for the remainder of the 2022 NFL season due to a ruptured patellar tendon. Jackson was carted off the field in the second quarter Sunday after a play in which Seattle's Marquise Goodwin caught a 23-yard touchdown pass with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the first half. Jackson had coverage but suddenly fell near the goal line and grabbed at his right knee. An air cast was placed on the leg before Jackson was taken off the field. The former Pro Bowler had signed with the Chargers this offseason to a 5-year, $82 million contract. Well, that's going to wrap up things here for you today. Thank you for stopping by. Come back tomorrow as Aaron Gonders will keep you informed on all you need to know happening in the sports world. For the Daily O, I'm Emma Lightfoot. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Shauna here at Where the Buffalo Roam in beautiful downtown Pawnee, Oklahoma. We have a lot of beautiful and unique items for sale in the store, but our #1 items are Navajo jewelry, Pendleton blankets, and Consuela. It's a great place to shop, a beautiful downtown, so come see us in Pawnee, Oklahoma.
My name is James Ramidi. Fired Up Stilly is the name of the business, and I'm one of the owners. We all three met, the three owners, working as employees at a similar place like this. What I hope for is for everybody to feel welcome, like family. Not only do I want students to feel welcome to come here and study and use our free Wi-Fi, but also I want adults and families to be able to come in. We've built a connection with a lot of people, and Stillwater's a big community, so we just want to invite everybody to be able to eventually make their way through our doors. Well, definitely the teas, I would say. Most people fall in love with them. They just got a great amount of energy, gets you going through your day, and it just kickstarts you to get everything you need to done. For myself, it would just have to be, being the owner, owning something that, is able to impact other people's lives, and, the way we can affect our community is something that I really have always wanted to do. We love our clients and our customers that come through every day, and we enjoy getting to know them.